Let's boogie.
Yeah, baby. Hey, it's Mitch. It's Mike. It's Mitch and Mike's voiceover journey. And hey, I'm interviewing myself, or at least the surrogate for me. Mike Regan's in the house. Hey. This time as a guest, not as a substitute host.
Finally.
So yeah, Mike, it's good to finally meet my namesake, I guess, and get to know you a little better.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah,
First of all,
again,
on air, I thank you off the air, but I'm going to thank you now. Thank you so much for stepping in. I had some unforeseen circumstances that pulled me away, and it was really great that you were able to jump in, without much notice, and be a very, very above grade surrogate for me.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun to do, and I like one of the things that I do is I am very happy to keep my mouth shut. And so I think that's one of the traits of being a good host. I think, especially as a surrogate host, you don't want to come in like, "Hey, I'm doing all the talking." Yeah, so I think I did well in that department.
We're happy to have you
talk. No such luck today, because today you're talking.
So now we just kind of sit here awkward and wait for you to start your story.
Yeah, we're not going to actually ask any questions today. We're just going to let you go.
Okay.
And just sit back and nod. We're not even going to go, We're just going to nod. So only those watching on YouTube can actually tell that we're even responding to you.
AFK here.
Good. Well, I started off resisting the profession. My dad is a producer, director in Toronto, and he was as a kid, said like, I didn't want to do what my dad does. That's stupid. I'm doing that, and so I did. I actively didn't. My sister pursued the profession. She's a producer in Toronto as well. Does really well, and so I fought against it. People always say, "Hey, you got a great voice. What are you doing with it?" Nothing. Leave me alone. Stop asking that question.
Selling cars.
I don't want to do what my father did. Leave me alone.
So then your dad was a director producer for voiceover, or in the entertainment genre?
He had like a small production company, kind of a lot of the companies that we work for, kind of starting out sort of thing. Like, he did. He'd done a whole bunch. He used to work for the CBC in Toronto. Worked for TV Ontario. And then so in the field as a director producer thing. Fun fact: he Lorne Michaels of Saturday Night Live fame started off in Halifax, and my dad directed Lorne Michaels.
Wow!
In one episode.
Whoa!
Hey!
And I don't know that Lorne would remember my dad at all, but who knows? What the hey?
You've seen a lot of talent.
Next time you're in New York, just stop on by 30 Rock and walk on up there and say, "Hey."
I will do that. I
demand to be on the show.
Yeah. Pretty sure he doesn't get much of that at all.
So your dad was in the biz, your sister was in the biz, and you were reluctant. What finally made you make that leap and say, "All right, yeah, sure, I'll try this thing"?
My wife and I were doing home renovations for a while, and then I started to do handyman work. Kind of continued to working with my hands, and I enjoyed doing that. And I'm not a very good my executive functioning. I imagine a lot of artists are like that. Isn't like top notch executive functioning. My sister got all of that in the family, and I didn't get any. So like planning my days and going to different jobs, I was really bad at it. And it was one of those like, I'm not being a hit it out of the park kind of handyman kind of guy. So I figured I'm finally gonna try this out. I'm gonna give it a go. Always heard that I got a great voice, and
You too?
So I did a weekend course with this woman Pam. Pam Jones and her husband, and did really well. Really enjoyed it. And then, her sort of path to getting started was doing voices.com and Voice 123, and that's kind of what I started to play with.
Okay.
Doing auditions on those sites, kind of thing. What I liked about those sites is, I'm not, again, executive functioning and self-starter. I kind of need to be told what to do for some things. I can't just go find scripts to read. And I really liked how Voices and Voice 123 would provide the script for me, give me the direction they wanted, and I could just try doing it. And I enjoyed doing that, and I also know what good sounds like, and I wanted what I was making to be good. So then I started watching videos on how to edit my audio, and then I got a better audio program, and yada, yada, yada kind of thing. That's the origin story of my voiceover career, is I just kind of did it all on my own, and I fumbled my way through it, is how I started.
How long ago was this? What time frame are we talking about here?
6 years ago. It was kind of when I first kind of cracked that. Now, before that, I also did renovations. I was a childcare worker for a while, did a lot of concert security for a number of years, worked in special events. So no voice acting at all history in my past.
So all you have to do is take a weekend course.
Yep.
Get on the Voices V123. Want it bad. Want to sound good. And you're in.
Hey.
Good to go.
All right. Now that we know the formula.
You've made a career.
Yeah.
Wow.
Made a career. 6 figures. I'm doing great. I got some good advice early. And a few pieces of advice I got early on. One of the guys I've mentioned before in the podcast, I think, when I was guesting or guest hosting, was Ross Huguet. He's a Canadian voice actor, and I guarantee you've heard him. We've all heard him.
Okay.
And very nice guy. And one of the things he said, a couple of things he said, which I really like. One of the ones is, as soon as you decide to become a voice actor, you are passively looking for an agent. From the moment you get going, you are looking for an agent. You need to present professional, pursue professional, be professional. If you want to get an agent, you start right from the moment you get going. I like that advice. I thought that was good advice. Because like people ask after being in the industry for a couple of years, hey, how do I get an agent? Well, you start when you started. And I just thought that was a good foundation. So for things like, as an example, for things like this, I'm putting on a nice shirt. It's not a beautiful shirt, but I'm on a podcast. I am always...
There's no spaghetti stains on this shirt.
Yeah, there's none of that. With never doing a Zoom call with anyone. Yeah, exactly right. I'm wearing shorts and no underwear, but you guys don't know that.
Now.
No, you don't. I didn't say that out loud. So I always, and whenever I'm working with anyone, or even when I'm being coached, I always try to look good. Because, I just part of the whole pursuit. So that's one piece of advice he gave me, which I really liked. The second thing he gave me was do 20 auditions a day, and you will be successful by getting repeat clients. That's how you become a successful voice actor.
Where do you get 20 auditions a day?
On voices.com and Voice123. Is how I did it. Now, I am not a huge fan of Voices.com and how they treat the voice actors. And I know it's not a thing like, everyone's super happy with Voices.com. Yeah, I get it, man. I'm not here to advocate for them. What I'm here to tell you is my story. And that is my origin story, is going down that route. Because it gave me scripts to practice. And I did, in the first 2 or 3 years of doing this, I was doing 20 auditions a day. I would get up in the morning. I'm on the West Coast, and so jobs would get posted on those sites early in the morning, Eastern time. So at 5 in the morning, I was in my studio working it. And again, 20 auditions a day. No word of a lie is what I did for the first 2 years, at least.
Wow.
To get here.
That's what we call prolific. You're a prolific auditioner. So you started there. You got the advice, always, ABC, always be closing. Always be looking for an agent. So I'm assuming by now, 6 years in, you've got some agency representation.
I've got 2 Canadian agents. I don't have any American representation. I am not doing a great job of pursuing it, but in my mind, I'm pursuing it a lot, but actively not doing it as much as I should be.
You wore a shirt today, so I would
That's
say
right.
you're-
Yeah.
That's
So,
all
hey,
you
like
have
I
to
want-
do.
be an agent listening now that's going to see you in your presentable
Yeah.
shirt and go,
That's right.
okay, that guy looks good in that shirt. He'd be great to add to our roster.
Like looking back, like I won 2 One Voice Awards.
Ayo.
Whenever that was,
2013.
21 or something. I didn't capitalize on that. I probably could have gotten an agent after that show, but I didn't capitalize on it. So I've only got myself to blame. But
Let's dig into
yes,
that.
I don't have one.
Can we dig into
Yeah.
that a little bit? I don't think we've talked about that on here. I have a lot of Canadian friends now. Wild. Never thought that would happen. Anyway, I've been hearing that maybe Canadians are thinking about holding off on that. If they're not doing it, maybe not contacting American agents. Are you feeling that way right now? We're not going to get super political, but are you feeling a little apprehensive about that?
No, not at all. And to do the political thing a little bit, I don't know, man. I believe the people that are doing the day-to-day stuff, I think every person's a fantastic person. That's just what I choose to believe. And I don't care who you vote for. At the ground level, we're all great people. Anyone that says otherwise is not been around enough to know that, like, everyone's awesome. Like, everyone wants to do better because of what they've done, not by stepping on someone else. Yeah, you're going to come across people that want to step on other people, but for the most part, I want to do great by being the best I can be, kind of thing, and we all feel that way. So that's a bit too something maybe spiritual based or whatever, but I don't have any issue with Americans working in Canada or Canadians working in the States, and I got nothing about no hesitation
so you're in.
to work with it. Yeah.
So it's time.
Yeah. Now, I might not visit the States right now, but it just seems a bit scary. But I would work for...
Okay. Your voice can cross
I'll just make sure you
borders.
got all your paperwork when you visit, I guess.
Yeah,
That'll be all right.
yeah, I know. But again, bad news travels real well, so we probably just only hear
Right.
the bad things.
That's true.
Nature of
Okay.
the world.
We dug in a little bit. I feel good. We nuzzled up to that just fine.
Yeah,
I'm supposed
and
to
I
have
think most people can agree that most of us, are good people, regardless of which side of
Yeah.
the fence you fall on. And if we can agree to disagree, and if we can, have meaningful discussions, then what's the harm with disagreeing?
Yeah, exactly. Disagreeing is totally cool.
But
I like
I
doing it.
choose to not talk about politics. That's where I fall.
Yeah.
I would just rather go, let's talk about something more fun.
Yeah.
Especially when people get volatile. But it's about Mike, right? Anyway,
Me?
I want to talk to
I'll
Mike
stay
Pelletier about his
Okay.
life real quick, and then we're gonna. I guess I did have a pivot from that, and I lost it. Oh,
Well, I'll pivot away from it a little bit. I got to
Yeah.
pivot. And Chuck Durant, he does demos that rock.
Yeah.
And one of the things that Chuck told me when I did my demo with him, does a great job. I really like his approach. If you've never done one, I like him a lot. Just one man's opinion. But he said a similar kind of thing. Everyone in the industries are great people. And when someone's asking you for a quote, they're not trying to nickel and dime you. They're just trying to get a number from you. And when someone's trying to do something else, again, I think we externalize things at times like, oh, that person's trying to just take advantage of me. Yeah, there are people out there trying to do that. But for the most part, everyone you come across, if a bill's not getting paid, it's just because they're having a bad week or a bad moment, or you need to remind them. But he approaches situations as if everyone is good people. And I've kind of adopted that approach as well. And there's one client that hasn't called me back after the work I did, but that's a pretty good ratio based on the number of clients I've had over the last 6 years. So, the industry's full of good people.
Well, and I hear that too. We've heard that from other people, and I haven't had this experience yet. But I mean, I've heard some VOs, actors have actually, I mean, we heard this from Toback when we talked about it, when he talked to him, a few weeks ago, just about educating casting, people who are casting for jobs on rates, where they come in with good intentions. Some people might just go, okay, I've got this project, but they don't know what to charge for it. So they're going to put out a quote, and it might be low. But if, as a voice actor, you go in and say, hey, I'd like to work on this, but this rate is low. Here's my normal rates, based on whatever. In a lot of cases, they're going to go, they're good people, and they're going to go, oh, I didn't know. And make adjustments accordingly. So
I've had that happen with some clients. You do need to, again, if you explain yourself, it has been well received. That I remember working with Harbor Freight. Their first contract they came up to me with was very, 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 very low. And they'd never done it before. They were doing things in-house, and they had not done it before, so they just figured this is what we pay people. And I had to explain to them that, listen, there's usage and distribution, and if you use my voice in perpetuity, I'm not getting paid in perpetuity, but you're able to use it in perpetuity. So the way I work is I do sort of a 3-month or 6-month, depending on what you want to pay. And this is kind of the rate for that. And this is why I charge this rate. And I showed them industry standard rates kind of thing. And they were open to that. And a cool thing about that was they said initially, thanks, but we're going to go with this person, whoever it was. They came back to me 3 months later and said, hey, by the way, we'd like to go with you, and we're going to use your numbers, which was awesome. And then maybe a year later, I saw a job posted on Voice 123 with my rates, and I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
And so, again, a company that
You paid it
unintentionally was kind of like, I'll pay you 4 cents. And I'm like, well, yeah, we're worth more than 4 cents. And they were like, okay, I didn't know. To your point, yeah, they didn't know. And so you can educate clients, and it's sticking to your, like, using the GVAA is a great place to start for anyone. Now, when you're brand new, I kind of felt a bit like, ugh, I can't really charge that much, but but you get to a place where I should be charging that much, whatever that number is, because it's what you're worth.
I guess that's a good lead into the question I had. You've built this confidence up over the years to charge what you want, or at least ask within a range, and hopefully get the top tier of that. And I know you, Mike, to be a very confident person, and I'm starting to notice there are those of us, me, who are kind of like feel not always confident, just kind of like, and then I meet very confident voice actors who may have had this from the start. Where do you find this inside yourself to just go, yes, I do have a good voice, and I'm going to charge this shit out of you for it?
See, there you go. There it is, Mitch. You just got to use that voice to give you that confidence.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has been the work, and I getting rewarded for the jobs. I think I talked about, again, doing 20 auditions a day, really having a keen ear for what I think is good, what sounds good. And I talked to you a bit about this, Mitch, off air, about how getting people's opinion or thoughts on what they think about the work you've done, getting feedback on your work. I always sought that out any chance I had when I was working with clients or auditioning for things. Hey, if there's ever any thoughts you had, I'd love to hear them. And it was a genuine, I want to know. And like people, I often would like, oh, it sounds great. I said, I don't want to hear it sounds great. I want to hear what things about it that you liked or didn't like, because I'm totally open to that.
Details.
And also, when I'm working with a client, if I'm doing a directed session, I will often say, listen, objectify my voice, not me, but objectify my voice as much as you want. Because it's not about me, it's about getting you a great product. And so whatever you need me to do, don't start off by saying, that was wonderful, Mike, you're doing a great job. Just start off by saying, I like that, but let's try to do it this way. Anyhow, so what gave me the confidence was I tried to find out what sounded good, and then I tried to get that as much as possible. Another thing that happened, Jimmy Carr, the comedian, English comedian.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He I saw an interview with him one time, and he was saying how he's like a Irish, English origins. The short version of it, he kind of sees himself as kind of like a blue-collar guy. But the world sees him as a posh, white-collar guy.
He wears a suit on stage.
And
Right.
you better fucking know that, pardon my language, but that's what he said. He said, you better know that. You better know what the world wants from you. Because that's your bread and butter. And so that's what he gives the world, what the world wants from him. And I took that to heart as well. Like, what does the world want from me? And also, what is the world like me doing? And I look at the things I get hired for, and I get hired for everyday man. I get hired for cowboy. I get hired for whiskey. I get hired for construction.
Yeah. That's
I
your
get
voice.
hired for motivation stuff. I do big in Vegas. For conference openers in Vegas, I tend to do well with that. And I will audition for those jobs. I will pursue those jobs, and then I will get rewarded for those jobs. So I'm answering a bunch of different questions when I say this, that find out what the world likes about what you've got. I found that was good information for me to learn, and lean into what the world likes about you. I think those are a couple of things. I am always me whenever I do anything, but yeah, I just kind of learned to lean into certain things in different ways. I found that to be successful.
That is
for me.
That's one of the first things that when I first started this, I called one voice actor. I called him. I was given his number by one of those companies that does training, and he's like, yeah, I just kind of found my lane and I stayed in it. And at first I was like, that sounds really boring, but I think that's what he was saying is I found these things that work for me. I take, and it sounds like you took parts of you and presented them and went, no, not this one. How about this one? And you did it 20 times a day.
Yeah.
And eventually things stuck and you got better at the same time. And I'm guessing you held the auditions less sacred at that point. You were doing 20 a day. It's like, you're not trying to sound perfect. You're trying to sound authentic.
When you're doing 20 a day,
Yeah.
you've got to just pound them out, right?
Yeah, but you got, I mean, perfectionist was a thing for me, and it got to a point where I was doing them for me more than for the job. Some of them, I definitely got to a place where, like, listen, I don't care how long this one takes, I'm sticking with it until I get it right. And I would shoot for that number 20 just to do it. And it's interesting, the game of voices.com. Also, you can educate clients on voices. I've had conversations with Voices staff. I've sent them videos and I've had about 4 conversations with Voices staff, trying to educate them as well. But the game on voices.com, if you want to do voice acting exclusively there, is you got to get an audition in a couple of minutes. Like, you got to get good at it. And it's not fun. Like, that part of it isn't fun. I don't enjoy that aspect of it.
Yeah.
And there are times when I'll just walk away from an audition. But, yeah, that game is, you need to get, that's why you're picky with what you, like, I'll choose, if I got a choice between 2 of them, I'll pick the everyman. I'll pick the more emotional one about big feelings kind of thing, or I'll pick the one about whiskey or whatever. And because I'm comfortable with those, I'm able to punch those out a bit faster.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I struggle with on the pay-to-plays is just they do tend to post early in the morning, and I do my recording at night.
Yeah.
And so I feel like sometimes I'm behind the 8 ball because by the time, I'll see an email, okay, I've got there's something in my box there, and then by the time I get to it, it's got an hour left on the submission time, and there's already 87 out of 50 submissions. It's like, well, are they really even going to get to me? And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
But I can't do it any other way. I'm not an early morning person where I can be like, well, I have an 8 to 5 job. I'll just get up at 4 in the morning and I'll do auditions.
Yeah.
No, that would kill me.
Yeah.
So,
like, one thing I'd also do is I have fun. I don't know. I entertain myself, I guess. Maybe I don't know how else to say that, but yeah, I find myself entertaining, and I will. Yeah, I'll just do weird things in auditions. Like this one thing for the NHL, I auditioned for the referee thing. Is like, hey guys, listen, I know I'm kind of name dropping here, but like I went to school with Wes McCauley, and so if you run across him, just say hi from Mike Regan. Went to school together. Anyhow, here's my audition. Blah blah blah. And so,
Did that land you the gig?
No, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. Like one today, there was this guy. Again, it's funny I mentioned Ross, but Ross was. They used one of his things as an example of what they liked, and so at the start of my audition, like, hey, by the way, if you're looking for that guy's name is Ross, and you can find him on the internet. Because I don't know, I find that kind of stuff pleasurable, and even when I'm shooting myself in the foot and not getting the job, I'm still practicing the craft. And I think that's one of the things that's made me successful is I enjoy doing this a lot. I really enjoy it. And I get a great amount of pleasure out of it. And I also play while I'm doing it. And my dad kind of always encouraged that in me, and just play. Whatever you're doing, make sure that there's some aspect of play. And another thing that that helped me get started in this career was I would read to my kids all the time. And Dr. Seuss was wonderful. And your kids are such a brilliant audience because no matter how horrible your accents are, they love it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, you're a perfect British guy. I was like, I was doing Russian. Yeah.
I've never heard a British guy, so how do they know how perfect they are?
Right.
In the faraway island of Salamason, Yertle the turtle was king of the pond. And whatever you're doing, the kids just eating it up. And that gave me a lot of that encouraged my play when I got in here. Yeah, so I enjoy it a lot, and I do occasionally play. And occasionally it gets me the job, the playing. Not often,
Enough
but
to
occasionally.
make it a career, it sounds like.
Well, no, I'll do an audition where I'll just say stupid stuff. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever listened to this, but this is what I got one audition doing that.
One's enough, yeah.
Hey, yeah, the second one could be right around the corner. So you do you, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, in various ways. I mean, whether it's that or whether it's just infusing the audition with, your personality, whatever quirks you have. Yeah, I mean, we've often said it. If you're not having fun in the booth, then what on earth are you doing this for?
Yeah.
This is not. This profession is based on, you putting the effort in, but also knowing where you fit, finding things and getting in. And if you're the business side of it can really just can drag you down. And so if you're in the booth and you're just stressing about this and that and the other thing, and you're just your reads are flat because you're just in a foul mood, you need to fix that. And you need to whether that's doing what you're doing and infusing it with a little bit of levity in the beginning, or whether it's just stepping out, having a tasty beverage and coming back in and being, light and airy, or whatever it is that you need to do to get your head in the right space to come in and have fun.
Yeah, I think I'm creating all day, every day, and I get a great amount of pleasure from creating, whether it's building a fence in my backyard that looks kind of good, or whether it's doing a script that I think I did a pretty good job of selling something for $4.99. I mean, you're creating. And I have written music before only for myself and my kids, just being stupid on GarageBand. but creating that's with an immense amount of joy. I mean, if a silly thing, but downtown Vancouver, there's the old Hydro building, and there was they tore everything out and made it into apartments, and I worked on that as one of the tear out people, and it's interesting that I have internally I've taken ownership of, like, I was a part of that, like that big building downtown. I helped that become an apartment. My role was like super small. Yeah. I hardly did anything, but just I was part of creating that, whatever that was, and that on a bigger scale. But on a day-to-day basis, creating is it's really fulfilling. I find it fulfilling, and I think we all do. And so, even unsuccessful job auditions, I still get the pleasure of creating something. And I get pleasure from doing that.
For sure.
Yeah, and you're setting it free. I mean, some of them I'll go back and like show Nicole. I'll be like, I did this thing tonight, and it was, or I'll show you guys, like, listen, I did this very fun thing. I hope you enjoy it too, and you get to enjoy it. But yeah, for the most part, you're literally like, and off forever.
Yeah.
It's tucked away in someone's files.
Yeah. I may still have the audio file on my computer, but how often do I actually go then? Let me listen to old auditions.
I do have a box for anytime someone gives me positive feedback on something, I'll take that audition and I'll smush it in that box to go back and remind myself that A, I can be good, because I forget that sometimes, and B, like you're saying, what am I presenting that people like?
Yeah.
And so what, you love your job. Do you get into those sort of slumps where you're like, I just can't do this today? Does that actually happen to you?
Oh yeah. I mean, the thing, life is a thing, and life's a thing. Parenting's hard. My parents are getting older. My dad's in the hospital a lot. My sister's in Toronto, being able to give a lot of care on a day-to-day basis. I'm not. I have a lot of guilt around that, and it's expensive to fly there. Parenting is quite hard. It's never an easy gig, and absolutely, there are moments when it's a challenge being around yourself as the only person you're around. It can be a thing, and so there's a couple of things that I do. Comedy, Randy Feltface, a huge fan of his. I'll find shorts by Randy.
Feltface.
He's awesome.
You've never seen Randy Feltface?
No.
Oh man.
I must
gotta
look.
find some
Just
Randy.
basically a purple puppet.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
He's
the
brilliant.
comedian uses as his his
I gotta
vessel
look now.
for his comedy.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, Randy's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also music. Music is one of the biggest things that will get me to a place, and I love it. That's a great tool to use. If I got to do an audition and I got to get my head out of wherever it is, music is a go-to for me all the time.
Okay, now that this is here, I was going to ask this. You just went right into it. Holy shit. Do you have a top song right now, or can you give me like something that really gets you going? I've got one. Maybe Mike's got one too, but hit me with a song that's like really going to get you back in the spirit.
I mean, I would. It depends what I need. There's a couple of bands I'll use, like Our Lady Peace, a Canadian band. A huge fan of those guys.
Yeah.
I'll listen to Rage Against the Machine. I'll listen to Tool.
Nice.
I'll listen to Ray LaMontagne, and there's another guy that's kind of fun. But Ray's a good one. Like if you need just something, he's a pretty solid
You're
guy.
like, this guy and Ray LaFontaine.
Yeah.
That's a little different genre, I think, isn't it?
They're all, but the thing is, they're very emotive. Both of those, absolutely. They're just so in touch with being a human being, and So Xavier Rudd, another guy I like a lot. and yeah, music. I don't have a band, but Mitch, I'm curious. What's the song that you got right now?
There's one for years. Oh no, not that one. It was weeks. I would just listen to Barbara Ann every morning by the Beach Boys. Just start like get in here and like ba 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 ba, and I'm just like Barbara Ann. And it just gets me like kind of goofy, and like Ben Nicole can probably hear me like upstairs. Just screaming for just sounding like an idiot. It just gets you like floppy. I feel like being the floppiest you need to be. Mike, do you have any songs to get you in the mood?
I haven't used like music to get me in the mood or in the just in the mindset for being in the booth. I've been, for several years now, been listening to the heck out of the Black Keys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're the bando choice, and really, I mean, I don't listen to anything new anymore. I've got my Apple playlists for the 80s, for classic rock, for I made a new one that was the like 2000s, 2010s, or 90s, 2010, 2000s alt rock. So like from Green Day to the Killers to all of that genre. So yeah, but there's not like one song where I'm like, all right, that's the one. I mean, maybe I should start doing like you do, because I mean, like one of them that always gets me pumped and going is I Want Candy by Bow Wow Wow from the 80s. That African drum beat, boom, and just that, I love the song. So maybe that's what I need to do, is to listen to that before I record and be like, yeah, all right, dude. Now I'm hyped. Let's go.
Yeah.
I will do that before I go into a directed session, like almost all the time. Before I go into a session, I will have, usually it's Rage Against the Machine, because you start kind of doing like, am I going to be good enough? Like I did the audition a bit. I mean, if I like the audition, but just because I did the audition, like when I did the audition, my voice was kind of here, but right now my voice is kind of here. Like it's going to suck. Guerrilla radio. Yeah. Just gotta go. And so like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Let's do this. I'm ready to. Yeah. Let's do this directed session.
That's cool. Yeah, and like you were saying, comedy helps. Okay. Well, I'm glad. I'm happy to hear that even the most confident people. I don't want you to be low, Mike. I want you to be high at all times. I want you to be
Mitch
high.
always wants to drag everybody down to his level.
I just like to know that other people are human with me, and I want the listeners to know too that Mike Regan isn't just some always happy angel of a voice. That there's other things, and I need some techniques too. So I'm definitely going to listen to some of those. I Want Candy is hilarious, by the way. So I'm definitely going to add that to the playlist.
I mean, it's a little before your time, but I mean, do you know what song I'm talking about?
I know this. It's in probably too many movies at this point to count, or shows at least, from that time. But I'm pretty sure they say, I want candy. Anyway.
A lot. They say it a lot.
Yeah, thought so.
Yep.
So we've played around, Mike.
Oh, there's one more thing I'll say. I'll say one more thing.
Say one more thing.
I had some questions, but yeah, I've had.
Go ahead, Mike.
It's helping other people out.
Sure.
Always gets me better. I've taught a lot as well. My dad was also a teacher, and I've done a lot of teaching, whether it's hockey or mostly hockey, actually, but whether it's kids or adults or whatever. And there's the thing about teaching. Also, when I did my bachelor's in child and youth care, you just kind of learn about the progress of how to convey information so that someone was able to learn it. Anyhow, helping others is another way to get your head out of certain places.
And you do that kind of regularly now with voice actors, right?
I do, and also like on Discord, you can find sites and stuff, and where people are always looking for feedback, and I think I'm good at it.
You're thorough. You're absolutely thorough.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Thorough. There you go.
Yeah.
But that helps you get out of your own ways a lot of times.
It does. Well, it helps you look at something. So Mike sent me this thing when I had no clue what was going on. He's
Which
like,
Mike?
look at this thing and see if you can do it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So he sends me this video, and he gives you a script. And you read the script, and you may or may not record it. And then he's like, okay, listen to that, and do X, Y, Z, and look at this, and record these things, and see how you feel about that. He had this video that had this step-by-step process of how to break a script down, and by the end, you're like, oh shit, I knew nothing about this script when I first started, and all of a sudden, I do now. And it was super cool, like, a lesson in a box sort of thing.
Wow.
And he's not marketing it yet, or he is, and just not to me.
Yeah, I didn't get that feedback. Is it? So it's one of those things I've done. You liked it. It's solid.
I liked it. I think it also made me feel like, oh fuck, like I thought I was good at this still, and I'm actually still learning. Oops, I'm still learning. So that's good to know. It made me realize that I still have a lot to learn, and you taught it. You reinvigorated some of those things that maybe that you forget as you're just going into the booth and like, I'm gonna act now. Here we go. Like, hold on.
Yeah.
You're supposed to know what you're talking about there, bud. Yeah, it was pretty cool, and it didn't take forever, which is so nice.
Oh, good.
And for me, it was free, you guys. I hate getting the mic here.
Yeah.
For me, it was free.
It's just a 30-second script. It had so many fun pieces to it. It was just one of those, this is really well written. I just kind of liked it a lot. So I spent some time with it, and I kind of broke it down. And, so I put it into, I volunteer with vets, military veterans of any country. Because my grandfather was a POW in the Second World War, and I saw how it affected his whole life, and he was just one of the people in the front lines. And I think 99% of the people in the front lines are just people, and they give so much of themselves. And my way of saying, like, thank you for your service is, hey, if any vet wants to get involved in the voiceover industry, I'll help in any way that I can. And so this is kind of like a first exercise I give to get people started. Is just this is a 30-second script, and these are the pieces that I want you to try to expand your performance ability. That's what it is.
So is this just a video that you have that you send to people?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time making it, and I got a script and a video, and do it once without any guidance, and then now we're going to break down every piece of it and play with it.
That's very cool. That's very cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's Mike.Regan at something.
Yeah. MikeReganVO.com.
There you go.
And we'll have it in
MikeReganVO.com.
we'll have it in all the liner notes, so don't worry.
There you go.
Yeah.
It'll be
Mitch is better at that than I am. I'm just like, hey, here's the video, and Mitch is like, tag this and hashtag that and put all the
Well,
And the fun thing is when people send it to me, I piece it together and I add some music to it, and so they kind of get their first commercial read of
Mini
sorts
demo.
kind of thing. Yeah, mini demo. It's not that they can do anything with it, but they can
Right.
at least hear it themselves.
Well, it's really nice. Anyone who's run across Mike in the wild knows that he made.
That sounds like a great premise for a reality show. Mike in the wild.
he's like, hey.
There he is. The voice actor in his natural habitat.
That sounds like a good ChatGPT idea, but anyone who knows Mike in the wild,
Good in that.
he's going to give more of his time for you than you expected right off the bat. That's what I've noticed, just hands down. Like it just happens, and not just to me. Mike's a good dude, and I didn't tell you already, maybe. But I super appreciate that you showed up for me
I feel
as well.
good knowing you now, Mike.
Yeah,
And I mean, that just goes back to what you were talking about in the beginning, and you weren't talking about yourself, but now we are. That everyone is good people, and we've seen that more often than not. With people in this industry, And it's just great to hear, you said that, but now we're hearing examples of, okay, here's how Mike is paying it back. Here's how Mike is paying it forward. Here's how Mike is doing things to help others in the voice actor community, voiceover community. So thank you and kudos to you.
Yeah. And it's just not, golf's not the best analogy, but it's the one that came to mind. Whenever I'm playing around at golf, I'm not playing against you. I'm always playing against me. Mm-hmm. And as much as the score based on, I am playing against you, but ultimately my only opposition is myself. And it's kind of like that with voice acting as well, in that it's up to me to get the job. They may prefer your performance, but my job is to give my best performance and put that forward. If you have a better round, you get more birdies than I do, I got no control over that, but I can control what I can do. And so, you and I are competing, but it's not an adversarial competition.
Right.
It's,
and I get that
we're competing
sense from
side by side, I think.
across the board from everybody that we've talked to, everybody that I've met at the conference, everybody that I know now, and everyone is like, hey, we want to see all of us succeed.
And if you're getting an eagle, I love watching you get eagles. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's so cool when that happens. And I think that happens,
It's great to celebrate each other.
Yeah.
When somebody posts something, it's like, hey, I got this. This is, and you just say, hey, this is awesome and good job and way to go and all of that. It just goes, farther to just showing what a good group of people we are. We voice actors.
That's why I keep you guys around, because you're going to keep lifting me up. And behind closed doors, let's say I get into a session, they're like, hey, we need another guy. I'm like, don't hire Mike Regan. Do not hire Mike Pelletier.
Don't call that guy.
Just no Mikes.
Because Mitch is the one person in the industry that is not looking out for other voice actors.
There's too much delicious money out there that I need to gobble up. And making friends is like good on the surface, but what are we doing here? Why are we doing this if it isn't for our own
waste of time,
gratification?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just want to be good people, Mitch.
Feeling good about self.
Be good people.
Yeah.
You jackass.
Yeah,
it's a facade. But anyway.
Well, speaking about putting on a facade.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
I think it's time to play around. How about you, Mitch?
I've been playing this whole time.
What? You mean what you said was not true?
Nothing I said was true. So go back and listen. And now.
All right. Well,
nope,
I think we'll hit the old pause button here, and we'll get back to it with some kind of weirdo script with a bunch of weirdos.
Yes, I'd look forward to.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We can't forget our updates, you guys. We have an update.
No.
Mike.
We got a callback.
A callback to this episode.
Yes. Hey,
so
Mike.
I mentioned that I was silly in that audition, and I got a message on voices.com from the person that I submitted the audition to, and he said, thanks, appreciate your message, and you're on my short list. Now, one of the things I think that does make a difference is when you make it your own, it has an impact on people. Even though I was being silly and stupid, I think that person will remember me. And will I get this job? I don't know, but I might get another one.
Hey, and segue, we're going to be silly and stupid and make this our own, and maybe people will remember us.
Yeah, I want to be on a short list because of this one.
Yeah. Let's go play.
All right.
Okay.
And
we're ready. A cheesy PowerPoint slide with confetti gifts reads, Southeastern Ohio Regional Realtor Awards. A room full of realtors sit at round tables, half-eating chicken marsala. Spotlights crisscross the room. Presenter, in an ill-fitting tux, shuffles to the mic. The Southeastern Ohio Regional Realtor of the Year Award goes to Mike Ayla.
Yeah, baby! It's law time! Let's go!
Ayla all day. It's in the bag. I manifested it.
I did it. Yeah. Realtor of the year, folks. Take it in. Number one in rural property with no septic tanks. Let's go.
Hey, tell your grandkids you saw greatness. The Ayla era has arrived. We'll talk to you later.
Hey. I think he means me. Get off the stage.
He said Mike.
No, that could be any Mike.
Exactly. Could be. I don't know. It could be. You know what? It's probably me.
No. Let's compare sales volumes. All right. I sold a barn that was technically on fire. The bank still approved it.
Hey, I sold a lake, just the water. But I mean, don't ask questions. Probably best if you don't know.
Look.
Hey, you guys didn't win.
Sorry. What?
So, like, you mean we tied?
It goes to Michaela Johnson.
Wait, what? Isn't that just like a different pronunciation of Mike A. Law, which is me?
No. I think that's like Michaela, like a whole different person.
They played us.
They played us like a pair of kazoos at a toddler's birthday party.
I spent $600 on business cards that say award-winning in Comic Sans.
I tattooed a golden house on my calf this morning.
Nice hustle, fellas.
You want to, Mike, you want to, like, I don't know, split a breadstick and go cry in the parking lot?
Only if we do it in my open house. It's mostly a shed, but it's got Bluetooth.
I respect that.
Please clear the stage. We are legally obligated to start the meat raffle in 5 minutes. Huh? That's it.
Yeah.
Fade out.
You know,
Okay.
meat would go really good with our
The
breadstick.
meat raffle.
Yeah, we can afford it.
Oh,
That was cool.
Good times.
I don't remember where we got that. Mike came up with this. Oh, wait, which Mike? We're not going to tell him. Mike came up with this idea. Don't raise your hand. I had nothing to do with it. That was great. I've been wanting to be a presenter for a while, and I think I nailed it.
Hey, and yeah, I want to almost win an award, but not actually win it. So, you know, this was a dream come true.
That may have happened.
Especially to almost win it with you, Mike.
Yeah.
So,
I don't regret the golden house on my calf at all.
no.
You're both winners in my eyes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mitch. We love you too.
Thanks.
That being said, can we leave yet? I'm
Yeah,
hot.
it's about that time. Yeah, it's summertime in the VO booth. So,
Yeah. I'll take off
yeah,
my
getting a little
long-sleeve
steamy
shirt.
in here. Getting a little ripe, I think, you know, where I am.
That's a good way to end it.
Yep.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mike.
All right, we'll end it on our ripeness.
Thanks
Thanks for
Yes.
being here, Mike.
for everything
Excellent.
you've done.
Thanks for having me.
And we're going to
Lot of
need you
fun.
back very soon, so we'll talk about that later.
Probably.
Bye. Oh, yeah.
All
be
right,
here.
bye.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Mike, Mike says
Yeah.
bye.
What?
Watching.
Yeah.